Uganda. So few have so much. So many have so little. That appears to be the way of the world. As I'm typing this, I am leaving Uganda, Africa, after a 2-week visit. Last April, we received a call from friends of ours saying that they had just signed up to go to Uganda and that we had 2 days to decide if we wanted to go. We said yes. This one quick decision has changed our life. Pete Oxford Expeditions was the name of the company that was promoting this tour. We had mistakenly assumed that this would be a trip focused on seeing African animals. Oxford is a larger-than-life character, standing around 6'2" and sporting a shock of blonde hair with more than a few hints of white and steely blue eyes. He might just be one of the most charismatic, self-confident, gregarious people I've ever met. He has been traveling the world since he was very young. He traveled alone for 3 years before finding his partner, Renee Bish. Renee is the polar opposite of Pete. She too has blonde hair that appears to have a life of its own, flowing wildly to and fro. She is quiet, understated, extremely wise of the ways of the world, and like Pete, an extraordinary naturalist. Where Pete would run around barking out commands like a Marine drill sergeant, Renee would quietly and calmly round people up to get into one of the 3 modified Toyota Land Cruisers that served as safari vehicles. Of course, the trip did center around seeing some of the world's most exotic animals and birds, which is what most folks want to see. But there was so much more we would learn. Pete and Renee have spent a lifetime working to promote conservation and empowering women in Uganda. Pete has contacts worldwide that assist him with his tours. In Uganda, he utilizes the service of Harrier Tours, owned and operated by Harriet Kimigshia. Harriet lost her mom when she was 5 and her father when she was 15. She was raised by her grandfather, who was a poacher. A sad profession indeed. Harriet became the first woman park ranger and was able to convince her father and others that poaching animals was in no one's best interest. As a naturalist and expert on birds, in 2005, she was the first person to rediscover a species of birds that was long thought to be extinct, the green-breasted pitta. This rediscovery thrusted her into the spotlight. She wasted no time capitalizing. She started her own tour guide business, which led to the acquisition of 2 hotels. However, she was not satisfied with her efforts. She turned her focus on inspiring and assisting other women to break out of the mold of poverty, which is rampant in Uganda. She helped a friend to create a nonprofit, Ride for a Woman, which began as a biking event and now has become a sewing and weaving organization. Harriet has selflessly done similar acts for many others. It's hard not to think of the contrast. In America, we have so much. Our kids have devices that cause them to remain indoors with minimal human contact. In Uganda, kids may have an old bike tire wheel with a stick and will play outdoors with their friends for untold hours. In America, children are rarely left unattended. In Uganda, it is not uncommon to see a small child of 4 or 5 years old walking on the side of the road all by themselves, maybe with a little sister or brother on their back. In America, we have more guns than people, and we live in fear of each other. In Uganda, there are no guns, and people live together and take care of each other. In America, we have a lot and do so little. In Uganda, they have so little, yet they do a lot. America's new shadow president and the world's richest man is from South Africa. Without making a dent in his good fortune, he could easily team up with others and help empower people and make the world a better place. Instead, it appears as though his only goal is to obtain more money and power, not to enrich others, but to simply enrich himself. It's a sad state of affairs when the richest nation on earth is now being led by a man who has decided that it is not America's role to help others. Instead, he is choosing to force his isolationism onto all of us, whether we want it or not. In his mind, greed is the answer, not lifting up others. The path that he is choosing for America will not make us great. Instead, it will cause the world to despise us for our self-serving greed. When we had the opportunity to make America great again, we opted to empower one man, the richest man in the world, at the expense of all other people in the world who could really use our help. We will be known for our leader, a man who cares not for others and only for himself. Is that really what we want for our kids? I'm Bob Stannard, and this is The View from my place. Thank you for watching.